Today I'm going to be talking about the group function in the custom wrapper API for OBS. So the group function is used to create some kind of like a group, like a box that holds widgets in a wrapper way basically. So it's like it like isolates them from the main frame. So the main frame, you can look at the main frame like something that's outside. So this here is the main frame. Let's say that's the main frame, and the group, the way the group works is that it's inside of the main frame, but it's in its own isolated container. So that's why you could look at group has basically. It's basically a container where it will allow the user, to create user interface inside of this container. So instead of having everything outside of the main frame, you can wrap it inside of this group. And that's what this code here is doing. It's creating a new group, which is, it has the text of login form, and then it uses the add function from the group. This add function is only accessible with group, and also I think it's just group. Yeah, it's just group that has this add function. Probably, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check on the code just to make sure that this is where you can only use it. So yeah, you call this add object, and it gives you, it allows you to add widgets inside of the group. So the widgets that you get to add are basically all the widgets that are currently available. So you can add anything inside of this group: input, a button, a label, anything. It's just that when you call the add function with a group, the widget that's going to be added will not be in the main frame. It will actually be within the group that you're adding it to. That's just the difference. But other than that, it's the same widget. It reacts the same way. It works the same way. There's nothing that makes it behave in a different way, basically, from the previous way you would normally do. The normal way to do this, if you wanted to add widgets in the UI, instead of adding it in the group, the way you do that is by calling it just like this. So this is the other way you can do it. This is just using this wrapper here, but there's also another way you could do this too: accessing script and then calling the label function. So this code here is the same thing. It's just this one is way quicker to write than this one, and also shorter too. But yeah, so that is the difference. That's how you add a widget in the main frame, and then this is how you add a widget in a group by accessing the add object, and then from there it gives you you'll basically be able to access all the widgets that you want to add in the group. Yeah, so if I go ahead and save the code, also notice here I commented this out, just because. But if you wanted to work with password, it's better to change the type of the input to a password. But this is just a test that I'm showing you guys, so it doesn't matter. So what I'm gonna do here, this is what you get when you reload the script. You can see here it says login form, and then it has username and password. So I'm gonna put ABC and then 1 2 3 login, and there we go. We get this printed to the console. It says ABC and then password is 1 2 3. Very simple, and that was very easy to add. Other than that, the group also has the same public accessors and methods that default property has, that default widget has, basically. So you could access, you could apply anything here. So if you wanted to hide it, to show it. So yeah, like all those are global public methods and accessories that all the widgets have, and you could do that. You could do the same thing with a group. It's just that the group has this extra key called add, and that's what makes it different from the other widgets. And yeah, I think it's maybe not possible to add a group within a group. I mean, I think it should be possible, but if you try to, let's see what happens. So I'm just gonna do this. Another, let's say, personal information. I'm just gonna do that just to see what it does. Oh, okay. So something did get added, but it did not display it. I wonder why. That's interesting. Oh, it's because I have to do this. So first you put the ID and then that. So now if I do reload it, I think there we go. So you can see we have personal information, and that's actually inside of the group as well. So it actually works. Thank goodness. I thought there was something wrong with the code, that I had to go ahead and fix it up a little bit, but nope. Seems like it works perfectly fine. So in the personal information, this is also a different group. This is its own group, meaning if I wanted to add something in here, I have to access the add in for this group right here. So that's what I'm doing here, add, and let's say we need to add something like this, full name and full name. So if I save that, reload, there you can see now it's added this group here with this new input which says full name and all that stuff. Very nice. I like it. So yeah, like this this input is different from this other. It doesn't belong to this group right here, this login group, but it belongs to the personal information group. That's how they're being parented, basically. I think from there you should be able to access add again. Let's say we want to put email here. Just gonna go ahead and do that. So if I save that, reload, see if we get it. Oh shit. Okay. Oh, I think I know why. It's because the add function actually returns back the thing that we added. So in this case, because we're adding input, that's what's going to be returned back to this call right here. It's going to return back the input. So I'm accessing add within the input, which it doesn't exist. It only exists for the group right here. So if you wanted to work with this, you actually have to create a reference to it, and then you should be able to access the stuff that it previously had you wanted to work with. So here I can now do p and then break this apart, p.add, and we should be good. So if I save it, reload, there we go. So you can see now we get this right here. We get personal information, full name, email address, and all that good stuff. Very nice. I like it. I like the way this thing works. Alright, yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to it. It's just another widget that just behaves a bit different from the other ones that currently exist. It's just that with this one, it's like a frame basically. If you worked with website development, web development, you should know about divs and all the stuff where you could like have a container that have different widgets, and stuff like that. So that's what you could use this group for. And if you like, you could also use it. The good reason why you should use a group is because, let's say I just wanted to hide the personal information, I just do that, and now if I go ahead and reload, whoops, I think I closed the script. So if I go ahead and reload, you would notice the login form is still visible, but the personal information is not visible. That's because I've hidden that object, and that's why this group object, this group widget is actually very useful because of things like that. If let's say you wanted to hide a specific widget or a container or something like that, or it's a specific UI, and you don't want to hide, you don't want to do like you know look up the name, the naming, all the widgets name, remember all the widgets name. You can just create a group and then put everything in one place and hide at the same time, all those things at the same time. So yeah, very useful. I like it. I don't know why I'm I'm still on this, but yeah, that's gonna be all for today for this documentation. Simple and easy to use. Here, notice that I'm using UI group, and it just outputs this text. That's because I'm calling it with a colon. But if I was to call it with a dot notation, it would have required me to also give it an ID for this. But by default, because of this call right here, it actually skips the ID and moves on to the title, which is this right here. So you can see here I'm using a dot notation. That's why I'm giving an ID here first, and then I give it the title. It works the same way with other widgets as well. So over here, if I wanted to skip that the ID, I could just use the colon here, and it would work the same way. So I save it, go to the scripts, reload, and there you can see we have username. Everything looks the same. It's just that this just hides the extra argument from the call. Very cool. The reason why you would do this is only if you don't want to create an ID for it, because you're not going to refer back to it. But if you want to refer back to the input later on, then you do need to give it an ID. So that would mean you have to use you have to use a dot notation instead of colon marks. Because if you use the colon marks, it actually skips the first argument, which is the ID. In this case, it's the ID, but if you're working with the old version way of creating widgets like this, you have to first give it a parent and then give it an ID. And then you put the rest of the data over here. So yeah, this is the old way to do it, and the new way is this, which it skips the ID. I mean, it skips the parent and also skips the ID. Same thing here as well. You see it's actually skipping the parent. That's because login already has the parent. The group already knows who the parent is, so it just doesn't require the parent. It just refers back as a reference to the previous the parent, basically. So you don't need to do that here. You can see here, same thing with the UI. It also skips the parent. That's because the UI is actually it's like the mainframe object, so it knows that the parent is the UI, so it just goes ahead and works with it and tries to figure out who the parent, where to display this widget. Basically, it handles that in the background, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. It's only if you're working with the older version here, which is accessing the script table and then accessing the widget that you want to create. Then from there, you have to give it a parent. The only reason why you would use this is I don't really know why people will use. If you're using this wrapper, this custom API, then I suggest just working with this here. So the first step is to create the setup function, and then in the setup function you create this callback function for the script to load the UI. And once you're done that, inside you pass it a function, and that function has one argument. That argument goes ahead and gives you access to the object, to where to display the user interface and all that stuff. Very easy, very simple. This is the most efficient way to do it anyway. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next documentation.